Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today with another Q&A, and the topic that I'm going to use to start this Q&A is being the new version of yourself. What it means, how you feel if you're doing it right, how you feel if you're in the right state, and how you move from doing into being. That's the topic that I want to contemplate with you today. And then we're also going to go into a Q&A and I'm going to answer questions. I'm a little late. I promised to come on at 4 p.m. and now it's like, I think, a little bit after that. But I am just going to allow all of you to join, and in the meantime, hello. Yeah, I'm already seeing the comments. Perfect. Hello and welcome to the live Q&A. In the meantime, I'm going to pour myself a little water. And yeah, let me do my intro first. So, my name is Julia. I am a manifestation coach and I would love to support you on your journey. That means if you're looking for one-on-one support or if you're looking to have a community to meditate with, then check out the links in the description below. I am going to host, and that's something very nice that I'm doing for the first time. Not the very first time, but the first time in a long time. On Saturday, we're going to do a meditation practice together. This is a community event and you can get a ticket in my online shop. I'm going to link the online shop after I'm posting the video in the description box below. If you want to access that right now, you can simply go to another of my videos and access the link there. Go to the online shop and you can get a ticket to the meditation practice that I'm going to host on Saturday. We're going to talk about how to feel worthy of love, and it's really all about feeling worthy of your own love, feeling worthy of being loved by other people. And I'm going to go into meditating on family relationships, friendships, a relationship with a new love or a specific person. So we're really going to have the experience of feeling worthy of all of that. And of course, last but not least, we're also going to meditate on feeling your own self-love. And in this practice, I'm going to help you and guide you to access that feeling. And if you want to join, you're also going to receive a recording of that practice. The price is currently at only €10, but as more people are accessing it, the price is going to go up. That's like a little game that we're playing here. And that means that if you want to join, better be quick, because right now the price is very, very low. And that might be something that helps you to be able to afford it. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you have been here before, then welcome back. And now I'm going to take a sip of water. I invite you to lean back, make yourselves comfortable, and find a comfortable position, because today we want to talk about a topic that really requires for you to be relaxed. So let me take a sip of water. Okay, let me make myself comfortable. And let's start together. Although this is not a meditation, let's start together with a few deep breaths, because I would love for you to be able to be super present during this live Q&A, and that's going to help you to get into an abundant energy. And I'm going to explain more about that in just a bit. But now let's take a few deep breaths, make yourself comfortable, and inhale very, very deeply. And exhale, completely release. You want to inhale into your heart, into your belly. Inhale deeply. And when exhaling, push the air out and release. One last time, inhale deeply. And exhale, release anything that you don't want to have. Feels good to inhale deeply, to become present in your body and to kind of push the energy out, or fully exhale in a way that you associate with, I'm releasing everything that I don't need. I am releasing anything that is stressful, that I don't want anymore. And really connecting with your body in that way and really deeply breathing into it helps be present, helps to feel yourself, and that's really, really important. And I see already, I see some comments. So hello everyone. Somebody says thank you for your support. You're so welcome. I'm happy you're here. And I also already see a question, and I want to start with answering that. What is self-concept? So self-concept is simply the concept that you have of yourself, who you are as a person, or in other words, it's the story that you are telling yourself about who you are. And it's not just a story on a mental level, it's a story that is programmed into your subconscious mind, that is tied together into your system with beliefs that are also tied together with emotions. So it's kind of a, you could say, almost a sticky story, because it's not just something that you think about yourself, it's something that you're experiencing yourself to be. So it's who you are believing yourself to be, the story that you're enacting as a person. And as we're manifesting, we're shifting the self-concept from the old version, the conditioned self, to the new version, the version of yourself who experiences the life that you desire. And I hope that this explanation helps. Let me know in the comments. I also have lots of content on my on my Instagram account. If you want to check that out, I definitely suggest it. I have a highlight on my Instagram that is only about self-concept, and there I have very good explanations that are going to help you understand the self-concept even with pictures. I really like to break it down to really understand the system of the self-concept. So I recommend you check it out. There are texts and pictures there. And if you're not yet on my Instagram, then you can also find that in the description box below after I post this video. Now, today is about being the new version of yourself. And I'm stressing the word being, because initially when we're starting to manifest, we're trying to do many techniques, we're trying to say many affirmations, and we're trying to do a lot. And sometimes this is extremely helpful, so don't get me wrong, this is helpful. It's helpful to do techniques, but the goal of these techniques is always to start being a different version of yourself. And that's why for some people the techniques work really well, because they help them to access the new version of themselves. For some people, if they don't yet know how to be the new version, it can be challenging. And I think we've all been there. It can be challenging to start to embody a new version of yourself. And that's why I want to address this topic today, because when you kind of understand and learn to embody the new version of yourself, you don't have to do so much to manifest. You will start just learning to be this new version. And the techniques, you can still use them as an entry point into the state of the wish fulfilled, but you won't be like, you don't want to be in this frantic energy to try and get there as if you're not already that. So the techniques will help you to access it, but it's important to understand how to do the techniques in a way that actually gets you results. And sometimes it's a numbers game. Sometimes you gotta practice a lot to start to embody that new version of yourself. But if you're only practicing with the quantity and you're forgetting the quality, so meaning you're only doing the techniques but you're not actually embodying the new version of yourself, then you will not get sustainable results, or your results will not be very, very amazing. They will not be super aligned with what you actually want, because you're not really going into the depth that will create the change. So now let me share a little bit about what it means to be the new version of yourself. It's effortless. Ultimately, being that version of yourself is effortless. It's something that you always have access to, and it's something that you can test. And when you're in a state of like surrender, or in a state of calmness is the better word. It's not necessarily a state of surrender, it doesn't have to be, but a state of calmness helps you access. And that's because when you're calm, you can observe the old story, the old kind of self-concept, and you have the power to slow down, to disengage from the old story, and to start to actually enter into the new reality, into the new self-concept with the affirmations or other practices that you're doing in order to start being a new version of yourself. And that's so important because you are manifesting from your state of being, you're manifesting from your self-concept. That's because reality is like a mirror, for the lack of a better comparison, but I think a mirror is actually a very nice metaphor for that, and reflects back your state of consciousness, your state of being, your beliefs about yourself. If you are constantly practicing and you're constantly trying to manifest, what can happen is that you're constantly recreating the experience of trying to manifest. So you're not manifesting, but you're creating the experience. You're actually manifesting the experience of a person who thinks that they're trying to manifest. So you're going to get the reflection in your reality that yes, you're a person who's trying to manifest, but who's not succeeding yet. That's the subtle difference to being the new version of yourself who already has what you want. It's a subtle difference, yeah. You kind of gotta stop being the person who is trying to manifest at some point, and you gotta start being the person who already has what you want. To give you an example, and then I'm gonna answer the question that came up. For example, if we're talking about manifesting money, when I was manifesting money in the past, and when I keep on doing that, when I keep on doing my practices, it's not wrong to do the practices. It's not wrong to manifest money and to do techniques for that. But what I want to make sure when I'm practicing, what I have to make sure and what you have to make sure when you're practicing is that you want to make sure that in your practice, you are being the person who has the money. Your practice has to align you with being the version of yourself who has the money. The practice in and of itself doesn't hold the power. The power is in your state. So if your practice helps you, even if it's just sometimes, and even if it's just like occasionally, helps you access the state of the wish fulfilled, this is going to start to get easier and easier for you. And at some point, you're going to start to be able to access it more often, easier, more easily, for a longer duration, and then you're going to be the new version more of the time, dominantly, and this is when your manifestation is going to start to get pushed out and be reflected back to you. That's because in the practice, you're not thinking that you're manifesting, but you're actually being the version of yourself who has the money, who is rich, who is wealthy. I think that's pretty clear. Now, how do we get there? How do we get into that experience? And in order to get there, what I want to recommend today, I mean, there are multiple ways to feel it real, but one extremely important tip that I want to give you is that you wanna remember that you're not actually creating something when you're manifesting. You're not actually like having to create that version of yourself. You want to see it like, I just remember that I'm already that. I just remember how it is to feel rich. It's nothing that is like foreign to me or nothing that is like out of reach. It's more something that I have forgotten. My old self, my conditioned self has forgotten that I am wealth and abundance. And now in my practice, I want to reconnect back to that rich, wealthy, prosperous self. The subtle difference helps you relax into the version of yourself instead of trying to get there. It's really important. It's a really important difference because when you're trying to get something, it's kind of the underlying assumption that you don't have it yet. Whereas when you know that you already are it, you just maybe want to uncover it. It's something that comes from within. And that's a tip that I think can help many people. For me, it's very, very helpful when I remember I'm just accessing the version of myself who already is wealthy. So it's coming from within. I'm even subconsciously, I'm imagining like, yeah, it's coming from within. It's opening up within me. Whereas my association to creating something sometimes was that I gotta achieve it. So in the end, these are just words that are pointing to the understanding and the realization that what you want is already within you. It's already like available to you, and by being calm you're able to connect to that. And that's also because when you're being calm, when you're regulating your nervous system, you're in this calm state of being. It's also very much in alignment with abundance, with I'm already enough, I'm already complete, I'm already whole, I'm already worthy, I don't need to do or get anything, it's already here, it's already done. That's the vibration that you want to feel. And if you tune into that for yourself, you're going to feel like this is relaxing, a relaxing, vibrant, and very powerful energy that is effortless. And that's what manifesting is about. You're going to see, even as you're advancing with your affirmations, you're going to have times where you don't need to say a lot of affirmations. You're going to simply feel the state of the wish fulfilled. And sometimes maybe you want to kind of catalyze, or I don't know if that's correct English actually. You want to amplify it with like, I am wealthy, and you want to feel it. I am prosperous. Prosperity is normal for me. And you want to feel the state. You want to feel the emotions that are coming with knowing that you are so abundant. That's the state of the wish fulfilled that you're able to feel. And at the beginning, mostly we're saying more affirmations, and at some point you still might be saying many affirmations if you want to, but it's going to be easier for you to really get to the feeling, even without so many affirmations. All right, let me know if that's clear, if that's helpful, if that makes sense, even if you're watching that on the replay. Like 1 second, I need to change the light. All right. Okay, question from Carissa. Hi Julia, what to do when we are still assuming the worst? What is the difference of assuming and expecting? So I would say different people have different definitions. In the manifesting community, assuming something or expecting something is viewed as like, I would say, expectation is viewed as something creative, yeah, that by assuming or expecting something, you're creating it. Is there a difference? Honestly, you could probably find a difference in the definition, but when it comes to manifesting, I would say there is not so much of a difference. I would say when you start assuming something, at some point you will get to the phase where you're really expecting it to happen. So maybe assuming is something that you can do versus expecting it to happen is something that happens as a result of assuming it. But I would say that they are pretty close together, they are pretty similar when it comes to manifesting, yeah? There are other communities that see assuming and expecting something not as positive. They say like, you shouldn't assume, you shouldn't expect, you should always like ask people what they think. That's not the case in manifesting community. Here we are like, we're assuming something to create it. We're expecting something, so we're creating it. We're using that consciously. And what to do when you are assuming the worst. And no, that can be so difficult. It can feel crazy, painful, because it's like your conditioned mind is really like coming up with all these stories that are not pleasant. What I would suggest you do is allow yourself to slow down as much as possible and observe what you're telling yourself, understand what paradigm or what reality you're living in, and really become conscious and really start and really try to understand that although this feels so super sticky and real, it's not what it looks like right now. Like, my mind tries to make me believe that something bad is going to happen. And I don't know, when you're manifesting that, sometimes things that are unfavorable do sometimes happen. But I think it's good to start to stop being afraid of it. So don't be afraid of like bad things happening, in the sense that if you're already having negative thoughts, don't make yourself even more afraid by thinking, oh no, now I'm creating it, now this is going to get pushed out. It's not that instant. Manifesting is not that instant. And even if something unfavorable gets pushed out, then it means it's still active in your subconscious mind, and it's okay that things like that happen. It's okay if sometimes you're creating unconsciously, especially if you're still at the beginning on your manifesting journey, or you're just uncovering a block or some shadow that you were not conscious of before. So my suggestion is take your focus away from the 3D as much as you can. Of course, if you can do something in the 3D that will reduce your anxiety, by all means, do it. But note that the ultimate solution and the ultimate peace that you want to find for this problem is internal. Yeah, you can, do what you have to do in the 3D, but come back to your self-concept and start to understand how you created the situation, and look at this problem from a long-term perspective or a long-term mindset. So don't think like, if I now affirm so much, this won't get pushed out. Chances are that you right now in that moment don't have so much control over if that is going to get pushed out or not. Yeah, you do have control, but you don't need to obsess over will this thought get pushed out. Probably one thought is not going to get pushed out. It's more like if you have a bad belief system, that is going to get pushed out, and it can take some time. I don't want to put any limitation on anyone, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time to change your belief system. Sometimes it can work really quickly, so don't obsess over that. The real problem is not the external reality in most cases. Because if you really have a belief system that is saturated in lack, it's normal for some lack to get pushed out, and it's okay if you're reducing it step by step. By all means, if you feel like I can now fully shift into my new reality and never look back and just stay there, and that's what you want to do it. But I just want to encourage you that it's okay if you want to take step-by-step approaches. It's okay if you are building a consistent practice and not affirming all day, every day, but you're being consistent, and that way you will be able to stay motivated long-term, even if bad things might still get pushed out, or not bad things, but unfavorable things might still get pushed out. We don't want to expect that. Of course, you want to approach it with the mindset of, what if all of this crap that I was thinking is not going to get pushed out? I always do that. I always tell myself that if something gets pushed out, it's not a problem. That's nothing to be worried about. If it gets pushed out, it's not bad. So on one hand, I'm reducing my anxiety of something bad or negative getting pushed out by telling myself that, if something is going to get pushed out, that's not so bad. I'm going to be able to deal with it. So you want to create a positive expectation of if something gets pushed out, because when you're in that worst case scenario, you're kind of thinking about that. And at the same time, you also want to open your mind to the possibility, which is very real, that nothing bad is going to get pushed out. And you want to say like, well, if it's getting pushed out, I'm able to deal with that and it's not going to be a problem. And what if it's not going to get pushed out? What if these thoughts, what if I can start to relax and trust that this is not going to happen? What if I don't need to make a big shift for that not to get pushed out? And what if these worst case scenarios aren't even true? What if I'm just able to shift back into my new reality? Like, create positive what if scenarios. When you're thinking about when you're thinking about worst case scenarios, your mind is in a negative spiral. So you want to help it. And it's also always thinking like, what if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? Oh my God, it's so bad. And it can feel like so alluring to keep thinking about that and to try and control the outcomes of those horrible thoughts. Start creating a positive loop by just asking yourself, what if I can get some relief from this situation? What if these thoughts are not true? What if something positive gets pushed out that I practiced yesterday? What if there's an easier solution to this? What if I will have an amazing day tomorrow? I don't know. Try out what kind of what if questions give you relief, and then this is going to help you to start thinking more constructively and to start feeling better. So I hope that helps. I hope I didn't go off on a tangent there too much, But those are my initial tips. And then what I always recommend is do emotional healing, because when you're in worst case scenarios, what actually happens is likely your traumatized part of your brain that is stuck in fears coming up and is kind of doing its dysregulated nervous system stuff. And what you need to do, you gotta regulate yourself and you gotta heal your nervous system, you gotta heal your entire self, and that is going to help you to stay embodied in your body. Well, yeah, obviously in your body. And when you're doing that, it helps you to slow down, it helps you to choose your thoughts consciously, and you can use my emotional healing playlist for that. Just check out my playlist on this YouTube channel. I have one playlist that is only about emotional healing. That is going to help you if you're stuck in worst case scenarios. But I intend that what I said is already going to be more than enough to get you into a positive into a positive loop and into a loop that gives you relief. And I'm so excited because I see that more people were joining. So welcome everybody, welcome to this live Q&A. Definitely put your questions in the comments below. And Carissa, I hope that this was helpful. Oh, I already have more questions here. Okay. Carissa says, I'm affirming with all I am, but in the back of my mind, sometimes there's this little voice saying, what if this other thing happens? But I will keep on believing. Thank you so much for answering. Yeah, I would suggest you really confront that. Sometimes affirming more can help you already to get unstuck. But if there's something that is more deeply rooted, then it's not necessarily the path of least resistance to affirm over that. Because sometimes it can be extremely beneficial to actually dive into the fear and to look at it. Again, in my emotional healing playlist, there are techniques to do that. But I want to address it also now. So let's take this example. What if this other thing happens? It sounds like your conditioned mind is very active, and dominant, maybe not dominant, but a big part of yourself might be convinced that something you're doing is not going to work. And in that case, it's good to keep up your affirmation practice so that you make the part of yourself, the new self-concept, you make it stronger. But you don't want to run away from this part that is doubting. You want to recognize, oh, this is a doubt, so I'm not running away from it. First of all, I'm here. Look, I'm gonna act for you. So I'm gonna be an actress for a bit. I'm affirming, oh my God, I'm so wealthy. It feels so good to make so much money. I feel so wealthy. I feel so prosperous. Money comes to me so easily. Oh no, in my mind, there's this thought, what if this other thing happens? What if this other thing happens? And then you're trying to affirm over it. No, I'm wealthy, I'm prosperous, I'm wealthy, I'm prosperous, I'm rich. Can you see how this kind of affirming will not be extremely beneficial? Like, I don't want to say that it's not going to help, because it can, and some people are manifesting that way. But as you can see, like, I need to be tense to do that. I need to kind of like hurry up to be quicker than the other thought and to kind of override it. And another way of dealing with that is to actually stop and to recognize, oh, I'm actually right now trying to affirm in a way where I'm kind of pushing some emotions away. But it's not really working, because this doubt comes up that I didn't address. So you want to see what is this doubt? Like, what is it telling me? What if this other thing happens? Well, let's say this doubt would be, what if I'm not making enough money and I won't be able to pay my rent? Oh, okay, this kind of doubt can be pretty heavy if some part of me is still buying into that. So I need to ask myself, like, why am I afraid that I won't make money? Maybe I'm afraid that, I can take myself as an example. Maybe I'm afraid my services won't sell. Maybe I'm afraid of being embarrassed. Maybe I'm not trusting the manifestation process. Maybe I think that money just won't come to me. Maybe I think that I'm not gonna be lucky enough, and I need to be lucky to be seen. to have somebody buy my services. So I'm afraid that I won't make enough money. So you got to find out which exact doubt is coming up. And if there are more doubts, you got to find out which are the ones that are sticky, which are the ones that you're still believing. Because if it's a doubt that you don't believe because you've dealt with it, it's going to be easy for yourself to see, oh, there's a doubt. I see the doubt. It's coming from my old self-concept. I'm not buying into it anymore. And then you're going to be able to, after recognizing it, you're going to be able to take a distance, shift back into your new self-concept and affirm in a way that is calm, that is being the new version. If you haven't dealt with it, it's going to feel strong, it's going to feel believable, and you're going to say, for example, what if I won't be able to pay my rent next month? I'm going to be so ashamed. And then you kind of need to deal with that, like, first of all, what is this fear of being ashamed for not succeeding? Where's this fear coming from? And then, like, why wouldn't you be able to pay the rent? Why wouldn't you be able to make the money? This is just an example. You got to deal with that because maybe there are deeper beliefs that are at the root, and you got to look at them just so you can see them and decide not to buy into them anymore. And if you're really bought into them, like if you really believe that you won't be able to make the money, like you gotta realize what self-concept that is. Or any other doubt, like I used the example of money now, but if there are real doubts that you're really buying into, look at them, face them, and sit with them until you understand why you keep on going back to them. Because chances are that from a self-concept of I'm not gonna make it, you're going to create a reality where you're not making it. And this is the case if your dominant self-concept or most of your self-concept is still bought into that. Only affirmations, they will help you reprogram your subconscious mind. Yes. And you can play the numbers game. And I like playing numbers games, like in a sense that if I do more, I'll receive more, I'll reprogram my mind more. But you can access parts of your consciousness simply by questioning and by asking questions and by really contemplating on the deeper meaning of a thought. You can go deeper more quickly, and you can access parts of your consciousness that are just deeper, because when you're questioning something, it's like you're starting to embody a new version of yourself. The moment I question, why wouldn't I be able, like, let's say I have the thought, I'm not going to be able to make money through my services, which for me at some point was a belief that I was holding unconsciously because of experiences that I had with people who were saying that to me. And I had to look at it. I had to look at it because I was so identified with that belief. I wasn't even really conscious that I was holding it. It was, for me, it was simply on some level, on some subconscious level, it was simply the truth. And by questioning it, I actually started disidentifying from it and seeing it as not being the truth anymore, which opened up space for me to become a new version of myself who can easily attract clients or sell her services because I'm not holding on to that belief anymore. Like, can you see if I would have tried to affirm over it and say like, no, I'm successful, no, I'm making money, no, I can sell. This can come from so much desperation. It doesn't have to, and if a technique works for you, apply it by all means. And you still have to say affirmations, or from my perspective, it's still helpful to say affirmations after questioning in a belief. But for me, like a good metaphor to use is like questioning a belief is like unrooting it, or like kind of taking it out at the roots. Or let's say looking at the roots and like looking where it comes from. And when you start to reaffirm something new, the new belief, it's like you're putting a new plant into the ground, you're putting new seeds into the ground, and then you're helping them grow through the affirmations. But if you didn't take out the other plant before putting in the seeds, chances are that nothing's going to grow there, or that it's going to grow together with the other plant. So you gotta take out the other plant first. You gotta take the old belief, question it, And after that, or in the meantime, like, you can also work on both of them simultaneously, but in the meantime you want to really grow a new belief. And I think, like, I'm going a bit crazy with answering that question, but it's really such an important topic that needs to be addressed. If you're having struggles with that, then feel free to reach out to me. I have coaching services in so many different facets. Like, you can work with me via DM coaching, which is a super affordable way, and I can help you look at certain beliefs that might not be that obvious to yourself. And I have other services where you can talk with me on the phone or via video. We can talk about creating personalized meditations for you. Don't hesitate to reach out. There are super affordable services there for you. Get the support if you feel that you need it. If you feel like you're stuck, get the support. That's what it's here for. If you're able to question your beliefs and to see your old self-concept for what it is and then shift, great. I'm happy for you, and I love that you are able to do that because it's so important. But do me the favor to not stay stuck by yourself. If there are other options available to you, you don't have to stay stuck. Use the YouTube videos, contemplate on this, question, get support if you need to, but don't stay stuck. You don't have to stay stuck. Like, that's a belief that I want you to take with yourself. I don't have to stay stuck. I have the ability to question. I have the ability to find solutions so that I don't have to stay stuck in my old self-concept. I can create a new self-concept, and I can dive deep and I can release all patterns that are not serving me anymore, and I can create new patterns that now serve me. All right, that's a little pep talk right there. Okay, next question from Ankita. How to get call from someone immediately? Honestly, I think that you got to have a lot of practice to do that. Either that, or you gotta have a super open mindset about it, and you affirm it, and it comes in immediately. And or a third possibility. Okay, so either you are practicing that, because then you learn that you can do it, and then you can just apply it. Maybe you're naturally good at this in a sense that you're having an open mind, or it happens when you're not attached to it. So I can tell when I'm attached to something, manifesting it definitely doesn't get easier. So if I, for example, if I now want to prove to myself that I can manifest that this person is calling me, like, that's not the best energy to manifest from. Whereas when I'm like just thinking about a person and thinking it would be nice if they called me and said this or that, and this can it can just happen immediately. So what I suggest that you do is become aware if there's any attachment. Is there any attachment to? I actually recently did that, where I called a friend who had texted me before, and I wanted for this person to call me back or to like initiate the next phone call. It was just something that I wanted. And I know from experience that when I'm attached to something, it doesn't really work. So I knew that, okay, I can't be attached to this. So I just said to myself, I assume that this friend of mine is just busy right now. That's why they didn't answer my call yet. And I assume that they're going to get back to me about the topic that we wanted to talk about. So they are either going to get back to me via text, but they're definitely going to get back to me on my phone call and letting me know that they received it and they want to respond to it. So I accessed that version of myself who knew that my friend is, of course, going to respond to me, and that it's okay, that I trust that this is going to happen, that of course that's how friends treat you, and that of course they're going to get back to me. Then I just let it go. And it might seem like an obvious thing, but I actually have been working with a pattern from the past where I was overthinking such things, and that's why I was sometimes creating like not the most pleasant experiences for myself. So that's why this time I was like, go into the energy of like really healthy, calm, regulated energy, like come from that energy and just assume it, and that's it. I didn't do anything about it, and of course my assumption got pushed out very, very quickly because I have worked on patterns that I had that were coming from pain, that were coming from previous bad experiences. I had worked on them, and I did not put that energy anymore into that assumption. I was free of that, and I was able to just come from an open-hearted space where I was like, of course, my friend is going to get back to me. Like, this is just a random example, which just came up right now because I recently experienced that. There's something else that I want to say about this. When you're struggling because maybe you didn't receive contact in the past from certain people, then this pattern can be built where you're expecting to be ignored, where you're expecting for people to be like flaky, ghost you, or not get back to you. Like, it doesn't have to be super toxic. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like people are ignoring you because they want to hurt you. It can just be like maybe they forget it, or maybe they reach out very, very late, or stuff like that, where you're starting to feel a little bit like awkward about it, but like, okay, I get it, that things like forgetting something can happen. It happened to me, so it's nothing that comes from a bad intention. But if you're building a self-concept around like, oh, this is always happening to me, or people like always forget to get back to me, or something like that, or this specific person's not getting back to me, then all of this energy needs to kind of be processed and released so that you don't like have the story about yourself. But if you're thinking that, obviously it's going to be more difficult to get immediate contact unless you're really good at letting go of that and just knowing that I can assume anything I want, I will get that contact. From my perspective and from my experience, I had to work a little bit on that, and I'm still not like, yeah, I feel like things that you're not attached to, like, they can get pushed out like immediately. Like, I have these kind of manifestations where I'm like, even having the thought like, can I do that? Can I even manifest that? Like, these thoughts come up, and then I'm like, you know what? Just give it a try. Like, just assume the possibility of this happening, and then just see what happens. And sometimes things get pushed out immediately. There's no attachment at all. I wouldn't build a negative assumption about, oh, this didn't get pushed out, or I wasn't able to manifest that immediately, because that's just coming from lack, where you're measuring yourself against your own manifestations, basically, which is not a good energy to be in and to manifest from, and it comes from lack. So I suggest you to really detach from it and be like, okay, I know I'm a great manifester, and I know I'm learning daily, so I'm gonna get better and better at this. So let me just like set this intention or have this assumption just for a little bit, just like kind of feel what it would be like if this person would reach out to me like right now. How cool would that be if their name just popped up on my phone? This would be so cool. And then just like feel into that for a bit, and then just let it go and be like, I don't care if it happens now or later, or if they reached out to me now or tomorrow or in a week, or even like, I don't need to think about the time at all. I don't care. It's done, and I don't care, and I know it's done. Like this. When you're really attached, you really sometimes really just forget it. Like in that case with my friend, that was not something that I was really trying to manifest. It was just something that I would prefer. I was thinking, I prefer she get back to me quickly. I just prefer that. I prefer to receive a response in that certain amount of time. And then I just stopped thinking about it, because I chose to stop giving energy to the possibility of it not happening, or me needing to manifest it, or me needing to think about it. I was just like, no, like, it's not so important. It's all good. I assume that this and this is gonna happen, and I was really not bothered by it. And not being bothered is so important. And when you're still in that negative or old self-concept, it's kind of difficult to be unbothered. So that's really something that has to do with emotional healing to get there. And again, like, I think I really elaborated on this now. So I hope it's clear. If you have more questions to this, put them in the comments below. But to summarize again, just for clarity, be detached, heal all patterns, and also practice a self-concept that is a good foundation for immediate manifestation. Because, for example, like, I have not worked on this yet. Like, I don't really care so much about immediate manifestations, because I'm like, well, do I really care if something comes in right now or tomorrow or in a week or in a month? Honestly, I have no sense of urgency, so I don't really see the need to manifest something immediately. But I agree, it's nice to be able to just assume something and it happening like almost instantly, or even instantly sometimes. So that is something that if I had the goal to manifest instantly, and if you're now giving me ideas, I would start assuming things like, and I actually started doing that, and it's so fun and it does work. Like, I can manifest anything that I want within 3 days. Manifesting is so easy for me. It's so natural for me to manifest anything that I want. And you could add something like instant manifestation is a part of my reality. Instant manifestation happen to me all the time. I'm instantly manifesting anything that I want. Reality reflects everything that I want to me directly or instantly. I'm always seeing movement. Movement is always happening in my reality, and I always see it. Movement is very obvious in my reality. Like, things like that make you feel like it's natural. Like, movement and instant manifestation is natural. It's normal. It's normal for you specifically. It's easy for you. There's something about you that makes it so easy for instant manifestations to happen. And I don't know, you can say like you're really lucky, or you're really trained, or you're really advanced, you're really skilled. Like, tell yourself like some kind of story about yourself why for some reason your things get pushed out immediately. Like, oh, it's so wow, like everybody's wondering, like, how can I do that instantly? Even you are surprised by how instantly you're manifesting, but it's also natural, and it's just something that you have trained yourself to be, and now it's done, and now it's happening, and only the good things get pushed out immediately, the other ones don't. Like, build your own story. I think having a strong story about that is definitely going to help you to get instant manifestation. And oh my god, I'm just again so excited. Like, it happens to me when I'm talking so much. I'm getting so excited and so quick. So stop asking so amazing questions, because they get me too excited. All right, there are more questions, so I'm gonna move on to the next question. Move on. And Carissa still said, thank you for the pep talk. Just what I needed. You've been very helpful. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that this was helpful. All right. Question from before. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Hi, Julia. I'm a first time live chatter, long time subscriber. I can get a job in New York City because of the jab policy. I can't get a job in New York City because of the jab policy. What should I do? So maybe you can give me some more details about your exact situation if you're still in the live. But what I would be doing, okay, like from the top of my mind, as a foundation, I would start connecting with the reality where you already have the job. You're already living in New York City and you already have the job. You don't need to think about the how, like how is this going to get solved? How am I going to be able to actually get a job there? And just start creating a reality where this is already the case. Create your end scene where maybe, I don't know, maybe you're living in a really nice new place that you got yourself close to your work, or you imagine yourself in your current apartment at your desk working, or in your future office working on the desk. Like, just imagine yourself in one scene where you're already having the job, you're feeling super excited, you're doing your work, and start filling in the details, start just simmering there, like, what does it feel like to have that new job? What does it feel like that it came to you so easily and so effortlessly, and it was like in such a miraculous way? It happened in such a miraculous... wait a second. I see another part of your question. Julia, I'm having the same dream almost every night. Okay, it's another question, but from the same person. Yeah, so start feeling, what does it feel like to be in that job, to have that job? What does it feel like? Like, why do you want it? Is it your colleagues? Is it the work that you're doing, or everything? Is it the place where you're working? Like, really feel into how blessed you feel that you now got your dream job. And then start creating your inner reality around that. Like, where are you living? What are you working on? How are your relationships with your work colleagues or with your boss? What are you, like, how is everybody treating you? How is your private life changed as a result of you getting your dream job? Like, really allow yourself to simmer there and to understand who you are as this new version of yourself. Like, really go there daily and simmer there, and start affirming not only for the job itself, but also in general. Affirm the self-concept of the version of yourself that has that job. For example, if you, in your mind, maybe think, if I have a new job, I can get a better apartment, or if I have a new job, I have more money, or I can travel more. Like, think about, like, what are the implications of you getting the job, and how does your life in general change as a result of that? And then you, of course, can also affirm about your job specifically, like, I love my new job. My new job allows me to do X, Y, Z. My new colleagues are so amazing. I'm happy that it was so easy to get my new job. Like, fill in affirmations about a job specifically. And then also, when you're thinking about the how, when you're wondering about the how, you really want to start to notice that this is happening. Tell yourself that the how is not your job. You don't need to mess with the middle, and kind of take your energy away from how is this going to happen. Tell yourself that I don't need to know how this is going to happen. I just know that it will happen, and that has to get pushed out, and there's going to be a bridge of incidents that is going to lead me to my job. I definitely know it's possible, and I don't need to worry about the how. I just need to simmer in the reality that I wish, and then I'm going to be guided to take or not take action in the exact right way. You need to really become that new version of yourself. That's your only job. From there, you're going to be guided. Your subconscious mind is so intelligent, it's going to guide you. Also, what you can do, and maybe you want to make notes when you listen to this, is that when the thoughts about the jab policy are coming up, you want to, like, take the power away from them and say, like, all right, it's okay that this seems to be an issue right now, but it's part of my old reality. In my new reality, this is not going to be an issue anymore. I don't need to know how this is going to change, but I just know that it just looks like an issue in my reality because I bought into it, but I don't buy into that circumstance anymore. Remember that the jab policy is a circumstance. When, like, last year, before I decided to travel and have one of my most amazing summers of all times, I was, in my mind, I was convincing myself, and I was buying into that, oh, it's very difficult to travel because of COVID, and like, it's super complicated, and, like, I better stay in Germany because of COVID I can't really travel. And although I knew that this is, like, technically not true, I was still feeling that way, and I was not traveling and kind of isolating myself. And then I decided to say, like, you know what, like, F this, I want to travel, I'm going to travel, and COVID is not going to hold me back. And then I decided that for myself, and then I kept on. I was looking for apartments, so I was not even searching for an apartment. I was more getting into the energy of like, I'm traveling, I'm manifesting my travels, I'm gonna have an amazing summer, and I was just simmering there. And in time, I found flights, I found the means to travel, although there was COVID. Like, I mean, I know it's not so complicated, but for some reason in my mind, that was a big thing. A big thing that I didn't want to overcome. And it's the same with the jet policy from my perspective. So I had like things that I thought, oh, this will not be possible for me because of COVID, because of all these circumstances. And things keep on happening in my reality where the former circumstances become a non-issue. This can be the same for you. Yeah, so look at the circumstances, recognize them as circumstances, and stop buying into them. Say like, you're a circumstance, therefore you're not more powerful than me, you're like less powerful. And I don't know even how, I don't need to worry about this. You're going to dissolve and you're going to melt away. Last but not least, what you want to do is like understand how your current self-concept is creating a reality where there's an issue with your dream job. Like, what are you believing about yourself or about life that makes it difficult, like that could create a belief or a circumstance that it's difficult for you to get your dream job. Like maybe you have beliefs about like, I don't know, things don't work out for me, or I don't get what I want, or like some more general beliefs that like make you feel like life is complicated and there are circumstances in your way. And you want to question that, and then from there you want to shift into a different self-concept where things are happening effortlessly and easily, and you're just like so happy because like things just come to you. You're just attracting them. You're just like simmering in a wish fulfillment, and they come to you. It's so easy. All right. Oh, we're almost at 1 hour again. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. Why does time pass so quickly in the live Q&As? Time seems to be exposing itself as an illusion when we are doing live Q&As. That's the reason. Like 1 hour, like, okay, maybe not one entire hour. Yes, I was talking for almost 1 hour. Like, what the actual F? Next question from Sagar. How to connect with our higher self and with the universe. Disclaimer, ultimately, the universe is inside of you, and even the thought of a higher self or the universe is actually coming from your own imagination, your own creation as God. You're imagining to be a human who then connects to its higher self, as God, you're imagining to be a human in a universe that you then can connect to. So like it's super like interesting to see how you're creating that. But to also answer the question, I mean, you can within your own creation as a human being connect to your higher self that is ultimately your creation, your imagination. But if you enjoy that creation, I enjoyed to, I had a time where I was not so aware that I'm the creator of my reality, like really like everything is my creation. And then I was happy to believe that there's a universe that is supporting me. Like that was really helpful, or a higher self, which ultimately is the universe. And that really, really helped me. And it helped me make contact with my God self, so to speak. And I still use that because I guess a part of me still is conditioned to think that way. I think it is helpful because it kind of makes us feel like not all the responsibilities on us. Because as the creator of your reality, it can really feel like, oh, I need to create everything, I need to do everything. It's like, if you're looking at it from a human perspective, it can feel like so much responsibility, and I just want someone who helps me. And it can be really, really helpful for you to actually think about it that way, that there's a higher self, and there is a higher self because your God self is the higher self. So you're ultimately helping yourself to connect to your God self. So you just want to go within. You might want to do like heart meditation or a body scan to really be grounded. And when you're grounded in your body and connected to your heartbeat, you can start to feel into the energy of presence, the energy of your heart, energy of your heart. I'm getting tired. And just feel your radiance. And then you can just wonder or ask yourself, what would my higher self do? What would love do? What is a higher perspective here? Like, ask yourself these kinds of questions. What would love do? What would my higher self do? What would God do? And that can help you to connect to higher levels of consciousness. Also, just tell yourself that you can trust the universe, that creation is good, that creation is benevolent. These kinds of thoughts help me personally to trust and to not try and control everything from my ego. Because like ego meaning also like the self, just simply you as a separate entity, you as a human being, is also like what I call ego. It's not necessarily a negative association, but when we are living as a separate self, what can sometimes happen is that we think that we have to control everything, and we even turn this idea of being the creator of our reality, or this truth, this notion, we're turning it into something where again we perceive ourselves as someone that is creating something. And when you really are the creator of your reality, it's not so much a self that is doing it, or how can I explain that? You're not, as a creator of your reality, you are being creative, but you're not controlling. And when you're identified with the ego, it can feel like I have to do the creation, I have to control the creation, and it's kind of like a twisted version of your actual God self. So turning back to trusting the universe can be really helpful to connect to your actual God self and to expand into the infinity of space, or the infinity of your imagination. Whoa. Well, my throat is a little dry from all the talking. So I know that I gave kind of a lot of tips that accumulated together here. Let me know if you could follow me, and if not, what questions you have that you want me to clarify on. Somebody says, hi dear. What I say is, hi dear, hi back to you. Let me see. Before is asking, Julia, I'm having the same dream almost every night. What do dreams mean and how to treat the message inside the dream? I don't know if you are on my Instagram, but my Instagram handle is Manifest with Julia. I will put it in the description box below. Definitely go check it out. I have a carousel post where I talk exactly about this topic. I also have a YouTube video where I talk about exactly this topic, what do dreams mean? And I'm going to give you a summary, but just so you know, there's content out there where I talk about that in depth. So definitely check that out. Be sure not to go to my old Instagram account, which is linked somewhere on YouTube. It's high value. I'm not posting there anymore. Maybe I'll post private stuff, but where the real actual new content is, and where I suggest you follow me, is at Manifest with Julia. That's the account that you want to follow for manifestation insights and tips. Basically, what dreams mean, from my perspective, it's your subconscious mind playing around, and it tells you where you are on a subconscious level. What is your subconscious mind doing in your dream? Do you have what you want, or you don't have what you want? And if you don't have what you want, you can tell that probably you're dominantly in the old self, while if in a dream you do have what you want, you're probably already dominantly in your new desired reality. If you always have the same dream, like, it depends, like, does it imply something good, something bad? Like, what is the dream about? Ask yourself, like, is there an implication? Feel into it. Does it feel good or not? And then ask yourself, like, what could this mean? I think intuitively you will probably be able to tell. Now, sometimes a dream is very symbolic. I could help you with the interpretation by by like knowing the details. But again, like it's something that's highly subjective. So I feel that I have a good like a good sense of what my own dreams mean. And even with a client, we were able to like identify like hidden meanings in the dream, which were super symbolic. Like it's so interesting. Like sometimes, for example, in manifestation, or this is a dream that you know, how can I get too excited now. Okay, so I need to be very clear on this. I'm starting over again. In a dream, it can be super symbolic what you are experiencing. So for example, something like something that in your life you wouldn't even consider could be shown to you in a dream in a very metaphoric way. An example is that you might be reading through books and throwing old books away, and that being a metaphor for you working through your old beliefs and throwing that away. That's an example that I think I've heard it somewhere else in another video on YouTube. I don't know exactly anymore, but that's an example of how symbolic dreams can be. And you want to make sure that, I don't know, you don't give too much attention to the dream, because ultimately it's just a reflection. So if you can't find a meaning, then you don't have to. But basically, the most important insight that you can have is, do you have in a dream what you want, or you don't have what you want? And based on that, you can tell if you're saturated in your wish fulfilled or not. That's the easiest way to explain it. And for deeper insights, watch my video or read my carousel post, or do both. It's all available for free. And then how do you treat it? So based on what the insight is that you have about your dream, you can keep on saturating your mind in the direction of your wish fulfilled. If you already have what you want in your dream, then amazing, keep doing what you're doing. I think it's pretty straightforward. And Julio says, hi Julia. Hello Julio, nice to meet you, nice that you're back here. And I've talked more than 1 hour. If there are no more questions, I'm gonna call it quits now, because I'm starting to get tired. I'm starting to ramble a little bit. Do you even say that? Like, I think I'm tired. I think that's it for today's Q&A. Thank you so much for joining. I enjoyed the questions that you asked me. Don't forget that on Saturday I'm hosting the meditation practice. Currently there are still some tickets available for €10. It started at 5. There were 5 tickets of €5. They're gone. Now there are 10 tickets of 10. A few of them are gone already, and then there are 15 tickets of €15. And let's see if I sell all of these tickets, I'm gonna make 20 tickets of €20. But if you want to learn how to feel worthy, how to experience feeling worthy in your body, like a really practical experience, then definitely join the meditation practice on Saturday. You can find a ticket in the links in my description box. You can join from anywhere in the world. I mean, check the time zone, but I have picked a time, which is 5 p.m. Central European time. That should be a fit for most time zones. If it's not a fit for you, let me know, because then I'm going to reconsider for the next meditation practice. And also, if you can't join and you still get a ticket, you will receive a recording of the meditation practice. So if you get an earlier ticket, it's going to be probably more affordable for you, because even if I make the recording available after the meditation practice itself, it will very likely be at a higher price point than the actual ticket. Yeah, so that being said, I hope to see you there on next Saturday. There was one more thing that I wanted to say. Yeah, the community practice is really there for you to simply practice. Yeah, we are talking about a lot of stuff on here and on my IG, and I'm answering a lot of questions, and we're talking a lot about the theory. And I know it's a common pattern for us humans to look at the information, understand it, but then more difficult to apply or integrate it. And this meditation practice is your opportunity to sit down for like 45 minutes and simmer in a state of the wish fulfilled. So feel free to join us. You're not going to be on camera. I'm the only one who's going to be on camera. And then we can communicate through the chat, but you don't have to say or do anything. You just gotta be there and practice together with me. And the community space is also going to help you to stay on track with that practice. All right, but enough said about this. I thank you again for being here, and see you in the next video or live Q&A. Bye bye.